Before I forget, I want to ask back, when they went to interview Calvin Phillips about her allegations, what did Calvin say?
He said that he had found the laptop in my garage in September when he helped her clear everything out of steal everything basically in my house, while the EPO was in effect for 2 weeks. She said that they found it in his warehouse in a Rubbermaid that she had put there. So the statements conflicted on when and where they were supposed to be found it. And she said it was in October. He said it was in September. He said it was here. She said it was at his place. So my private investigators were questioning him about, why are your stories so different about everything? And he kept kind of dodging that bullet. And then they kind of confronted him about the police officer walking in on him and seen them together having sex. And he said, well, I was naked with my dog, and my dog is a German Shepherd, so he has blonde hair, and he showed her blonde hair. It's just kind of funny, but
whoa, this is going to
he'd rather have sex with his dog than to have sex with this woman. At that time, I still didn't know that my contractor had also walked in on him and seen him, in the barn in his house having sex. So, like I said, everybody knew what was going on, but
right. But did he acknowledge that he had that he knew nothing about the assault, the rape, or any of that?
Right. Yeah. So when that was why he was my star defense witness. Right for the court-martial was supposed to happen in November, because my private investigator did a great job of going through all the allegations with him, and all of them, I have them on tape that I'll give you, he's like, no, she never said she was abused, no, she never said anything sexual abuse had ever happened, no, she never said he had hurt the kids, and just went down the whole line and just refuted everything. And it was like, I'm golden. My private investigators are texting back and forth, so this is great.
So he was your star witness?
He was my star witness. And the other thing that he had done for me is he had gotten me out of this bigamous relationship where this woman had basically been milking me for 8 years, and I didn't know it, and so I owed him for that too, really.
So at the time of the murders, you were actually grateful to Calvin Phillips?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. He got me out of this huge mess. I had moved on. I met my fiancée, Laura, who's a nursing professor, and just the most amazing relationship you could ever ask for, and I was just so happy. And so everything, personal-wise was going great. So
tell me what you thought when you heard that Calvin Phillips had been murdered, as well as his wife and your next-door neighbor.
Yeah, I don't remember. So I don't remember exactly how that came out, because I was grabbed by CID, like I was a terrorist or something on base in front of everybody at gunpoint. So I was kind of out of the loop there for a while. But when I was finally released, I remember that. My initial thought was maybe they've gotten into a bad business deal because they were running that brothel for a while down in St. Elmo, or everybody, my neighbors here thought maybe he was into drugs, because he was passed out in the road, like OD'd like a couple months before the murders too. So he was just like in the middle of the road passed out, and they called the ambulance and stuff like that. So
wow.
Somebody wanted to kill him. If I wanted to kill him, that would have been a great time to do it. I'd just go run him over.
Well,
he was just sitting out there.
How soon was the court-martial? When was he going to testify before he died? 2 weeks before he died?
It was about 2 weeks, yeah. He was supposed to come in and testify.
Supposed to come and testify 2 weeks, and then and 2 weeks before he was supposed to testify, he's dead.
Right, yeah. And so my star defense witness is now gone. And then the other stuff that happened with that is with CID getting involved, Army Criminal Investigation getting involved in a civilian murder case, which is kind of unheard of. They got involved in as soon as his body was found, they were over there, and my neighbors all witnessed that. And then the next day, like I said, I'm at work, about to go to the gym, logged out from my computer, and I get taken down like a terrorist by all these CID agents. And then they come busting in the door here with a SWAT team once they know that I've got me there, and drag my fiance out down the driveway, barefoot in front of all the TV cameras.
They take your laptop, your phone, your cars.
My cars, my trucks, Laura's laptops, phones, her car, everything basically. And Army CID is the one that took those from me. So they work basically for the JAG prosecutors. So now they have my entire defense strategy. I spent 2 years working on this.
Sure.
I got through all the statements that showed how there was, the statements didn't match on all their accusations. Had all that on there, had all the audio tapes from my private investigators talking to Joan's family, where they talked about her childhood, how she always lied, how she had made false allegations against her father, how she had lied to her son that his father was dead, and he's not, he's still alive. Wow. He doesn't even know his real first name, his real name at all. And Army CID had supposedly investigated that and said that, he is dead. Well, I found him, and the only reason I found him is because she's so greedy. She went back to, right before her son turned 18, she went back and filed, changed the record again to say that he was the father and wanted back child support for the last 17 years.
So I want to go back to the fact of this time between he was set to testify and then he was murdered. If he was your star witness, why would they have suspected you, even as a person of interest, in his murder?
I don't know. What I do know is what I was told is that a woman called a newspaper or a radio station or something and said that, not the police for some reason because that would be recorded, but said that Major Chris Martin in the yellow house across the street, there's evidence of the murders there, he did it. If you go there, you'll find it. Well, like I was telling you before, nobody in the neighborhood here knows me as Major Chris Martin. Everybody knows me as Kid. I don't wear my rank at home. I'm just Kid, and I interact with all my neighbors like that. And so none of them could have made that phone call. It had to be my ex.
So when you were questioned on post about this, what did they ask you? Did they say did they come out and say, did you murder these people?
No, they just said they wanted to talk to me about what happened, and I didn't know anything really about what had happened yet. I just knew that I was trying to go to the gym and they grabbed me. And so I told them, I'll tell you anything you want to know.
Right.
I already offered them my surveillance footage for my cameras around the house the night before, and so I didn't know why they'd want to grab me like that. I just asked if my lawyer could be present, and I'd talk to them.
That was it?
And they never asked to talk to me again.
But as of this date, they have, I should say, the police have your cars, your laptop, your phone. Mm-hmm. Why would they keep all of that if they didn't consider you to be somebody that may have been involved in this?
Well, by now, I think the Army was the one that got them. The Army JAG and CID were the ones that sold them on the idea that they needed to come grab me, that I was their guy. And then once they did, now they've gone through all the security surveillance footage, done their forensics on our vehicles, our phones, our laptops, checked my log in and out at work, talked to the people at work. They know I'm the only person they know didn't have anything to do with this at this point. Why they're still keeping it? I think it's because they're working something with the Commonwealth Attorney's Office.
Trying to find. What has this been like for you to know that everyone has seen that your house was raided by SWAT, that they have your personal information, that you were taken by the military and basically sequestered? Everybody knows this about you. Is it hard to live under this veil of suspicion?
Sure, because Middle Tennessee and Lower Kentucky is my home. That's where I worked in the civilian world, prior to 9/11. So I have a lot of people that I've worked with that know me there. My family's all there for the most part. I was in the Tennessee Guard for 11 years until 9/11. So it's devastating. Not only have they ruined my military career at this point that I worked so hard for, but now, even if I am cleared, which is going to be a miracle that they have, now that they have all my defense strategy, what can I go back to? I'm ruined. And they've done this to me, and how do you recover from that?
Wow, that interview is really something. Let us know on social media what you think. And we do want to point out that Court TV has not been able to confirm some of the allegations that Martin made in that April of 2016 interview. But ultimately, as we both know, it's up to the jury to decide if he were to testify and share this information. They'll make an assessment of credibility.